Good Friday to you. I'm Brenda Hughes.
And I'm Jim Duncan, sitting in for Jeff Hill. Welcome to First News.
Oh, yeah. It's been another busy news day. A plane crashes at Richmond International Airport. 3 people are killed. And President Bush said, first of all, it all started as a vacation trip to Florida, but it ended in tragedy at Richmond's airport. 3 people are dead tonight, 2 others hurt. Their small plane crashed in Henrico County this morning, just 2 miles short of the runway. The single-engine Piper Cherokee had engine problems. The pilot tried to make it, but the plane went down in a swampy area near Tiffany Meadows. They were traveling from Maryland to Florence, South Carolina, and then on to Florida. Federal investigators are looking into what went wrong. Channel 12's Nancy Tate has the story.
The single-engine Cherokee Piper crashed in the woods next to Giffords Farm about 10:30 this morning. An FAA spokesperson says the pilot radioed to Richmond International Airport and said he was having engine trouble. He tried to reach the airport to land, but didn't make it. Horace Gifford was working in a shed when the plane crashed behind his barn. He heard the impact and at first thought it was a car accident on the road.
I heard these sirens and I looked at all these police cars and ambulances was coming up my drive. So I come on over to my house to see what was wrong. I didn't know what was the matter. When I got over here, they said a plane, I asked the men, and a plane had fell. So I went on down there to the plane, and it had the ambulance drivers had already gotten there before I did, and they had one man on a stretcher working on him.
We will have more on that story for you tonight at 6 o'clock. Human error, we will show you.
This is the scene in Henrico County. A small plane with 5 persons aboard tried unsuccessfully to make an emergency landing at Richmond Airport. 2 of the passengers were killed immediately on impact. 1 died later at MCV. 2 others remain in critical but stable condition. Good evening, I'm Gene Cox.
And I'm Andrea McDaniel. Sabrina's taking some time off. The plane left a small airport in Harford County, Maryland this morning en route to Florence, South Carolina. Harford County is just northeast of Baltimore. Apparently, as it approached the Richmond area, engine trouble developed.
Diane Walker has been at the scene of the crash most of the day. She joins us now with more information. Diane?
Well, Gene and Andrea, all officials are saying right now is that it may have been engine trouble. Now, we spoke with the FAA later this afternoon, and they say it's possible that there were mechanical problems, but it's going to be some time before we know for sure what happened. Now, what we do know is that the plane was registered to James Wilson, and there is some confusion over who was flying the aircraft. There were 2 pilots on board. Both were very experienced pilots. One was qualified to fly in bad weather. We understand that none of the victims is from Virginia, and also, according to sources, these were husbands with their wives headed for vacation. State police removed the dead plane crash victims late this afternoon under a steady rainfall. A man and a woman died at the plane crash scene. Another woman died hours later. 2 others on board survived but are seriously injured. Visibility at the time of the crash was 2 miles with light rain and fog. Officials say the pilot radioed the airport tower, complaining of engine trouble. Air traffic controllers cleared him for landing on one of the runways, but they say they lost communications with him. The single-engine Cherokee Piper crashed around 10:30 this morning behind Eastgate Baptist Church on Cedar Fork Road, 4 miles from Richmond International Airport.
Parts scattered all in the ground leading up to the plane. The fuselage is badly damaged. To talk to the pilot, a lot of these questions can be cleared up for us.
Is he in pretty bad shape?
I understand he walked out.
Now, transportation experts from Washington must now sift through the wreckage and even possibly tear down the engine to try to figure out what happened. We understand that the FAA has done some checking, and they have discovered no history of problems with this particular plane.
Apparently, the pilot had radioed in that he had the runway in sight.
That's right.
But he was apparently
Just couldn't make it.
He just could not make it in.
Thank you, Diane. Perhaps we'll have the names later on today by the late news. 2 of the passengers on the plane were killed instantly. The 3rd one died shortly after 3 o'clock, about 3:30 this afternoon in MCV. The 2 others at this hour remain in critical condition at MCV, and as we indicated, the names will be released later by authorities. 3 people were killed in a repair crew
just short of the airport, sharing its wings and tearing through a clump of trees. 2 of the victims died instantly, another during surgery this afternoon. The plane was on its way from Harford County, Maryland to North Carolina at the time of the crash.
Another deadly accident closer to home tonight.
Small plane went down attempting an emergency landing at Richmond International. The pilot radioed he was having engine troubles, that he saw the runway but wasn't going to make it.
At 10:40 a.m., the pilot of this plane radios the tower he's having engine trouble. He sees the airport but doesn't think he can make it.
There was a sputter or a putter heard from the engine, and the plane went into the woods.
Just a few feet away at the Gifford farm, Horace Gifford is busy with his chores.
All I heard was a crash.
The plane came down with such force that it literally broke into pieces. The propeller is wrapped around a tree. As it cut through the woods, it left a trail of debris and chopped the tops off of trees. 2 passengers are pronounced dead at the scene. 3 survivors, one the pilot, are airlifted to MCV. The injuries are serious. The 5 people were en route from Forest Hill, Maryland to Florence, South Carolina, headed to vacation in Florida. This is how their vacation ended. Peter Rosen, WTVR News 6.
Late tonight, the identity